A Chevrolet Suburban 2500 with the 454 big block engine, and we are going to be welding up two exhaust hangers that are busted from a donut flange gasket install job by two previous mechanics that cut the hangers off and then never reinstalled them. I just found out about this recently when I went to install the donut gaskets. I also have that in another video that I ended up posting not too long ago, so you can go and watch that if you want. But for today's project, we have a Harbor Freight Chicago electric welder, which suits just fine for the things that I need it for. An auto darkening helmet for welding, welding gloves, goggles, grinder, glasses, hearing protection, and extension cord to run for my garage so I can actually operate all these wonderful, fantastic tools. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so I took my grinder and I went and I shaved off the exhaust hanger and I cleaned off the surface. You want to get as much rust off as possible. You want a shiny surface so that way the weld will stick. I have one there, and then I also did the one back there. So all that's going to get welded together. Now, what's there now is just clumps of junk. All that stuff is ground down to a shiny enough metal that I can get a weld on it, put a bead on it, and that's all I need. I'm not looking for a professional weld. I'm just looking to make sure that the exhaust doesn't fall off. This truck is rusted, and you can see by the frame it's not perfect. I just want to make sure that the exhaust is staying on and that it's attached to the straps that it's supposed to be attached to, so that way it doesn't bounce around and then ruin the flange gasket donuts that I just installed. Now, step two is we're actually going to be turning the welder on. I have to find a place to put this clamp so I can attach that for ground, and then I can go ahead and start the welder and get started on that. Now, word of caution, if you smell any fuel, if there's any vapors flowing around, they can be very volatile, so you want to make sure that you're not angle grinding near the fuel tank. You don't want to angle grind near any fuel vapors. You don't want to blow yourself up. And then make sure you wear your safety protection and some gloves, because you will have sparks flying when you go ahead and do that. I'm going to get this hooked up under here somewhere. So what I'm probably going to do, since I already ground down a section right there, is I'll attach my clamp to that section, weld it up, and then, I'll attach my clamp to that section and weld that section over there. After that section's welded over there, then I'll attach my clamp for ground over there and then weld over here on this one. I think that'll be the easiest route to go. Alright, I'm going to get my gloves on, but I want to look at the electrode here and I want to be able to test this out, make sure it moves. Come on. Doesn't like to focus. Okay, it functions, and I put it exactly where I said I was going to put it, so I attached it there. We'll get that bottom section welded up, get that stupid coat hanger they put there out of there, and then we'll go ahead and attach that clamp over to there, and then weld that spot, and then we'll be good to go. There's actually 3 exhaust hangers on this vehicle. The one in the back is fine, but the 2 that are over here are completely shot. And before you say, well, it was probably the rust that knocked them out of place, it was not. I was actually there when they cut them out. They told me they put them back. They did not put them back. Gasket bolt to be able to get a better ground, but I did get this attached on here so far. So let's see if I can get some light shined on here real fast, and then I tack welded it. This thing. Not the easiest thing to do. But as long as it holds, that's all I'm looking for. So that's basically what I'm doing, is going around and hitting it all around the edges just to try to get it to stick. Like I said, I angle grinded all this off, and then now I'm doing that. Now I'm going to go over to the other hanger and get that done as well. Alright. Let's see if I can. There we go. Never wants to focus. Alright. Just an ugly weld, just enough to hold it in. how long that's going to hold, I don't know. This hangar's officially now shot, so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do here as far as this goes. If I just want to shave it all down and start from scratch, or what I'm going to do. But this side is done. I hit it all the way around the inside. And then let me just kind of show you. I mean, it ain't going anywhere. That's nice and rock solid. And then I'm going to do down there, and then that'll be it. And this is a quick and easy way, if you have an inexpensive welder, that you can go ahead and do stuff like this yourself. Called up some local mechanics, and I think they wanted about $200-300 to get this done, and I thought, no, I'll just take care of it on my own. Okay, I just got finished up. I ended up doing the other side. It does not look pretty, but it is going to hold. There's the angle grinder. I gotta disconnect. You can hear this humming. The power's on. And I put in wire speed 4, which actually seemed to be probably a little bit too fast, and it was on max as far as the amperage went. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I'm going to get everything disconnected. Let me show you what I did. Right there. It's all bonded together. Like I said, now it's up there. It's on the hangers. I got it. Just looks like a cluster of grapes, but it's tacked there and it's tacked behind it. And then I can go ahead and remove this ugly coat hanger, and then everything else is done, and that section is done over there too. So I mean, it's all set. It's about as good as this needs to get right now. It's an older truck. I just want to make sure the exhaust doesn't come crashing down and doesn't ruin my donut flange gaskets. So I'm happy with it. I can always double check it in about a week or so and see if these welds have broke loose. If they have, like I said, I can always cut all this off, shave it down, get it back to where it needs to be. But this is just a quick and easy way to just go ahead and touch this up and get this done, so I can make sure that this stays on the road so I can use it for what I need it for. I wanted to make a quick mention here about if for some reason you can't get a good weld, or the wire's coming out and it's not actually making contact, but it's not performing welds, make sure you always double check your ground wire. That's that clamp that I went ahead and moved around, and if that doesn't do it, then make sure you check the tip inside there and make sure it gets cleaned off. You see how corroded that is right now from the weld that I performed? Well, and that's kind of hot to the touch. Let me go ahead and get a glove on, then I'll show you how to take this apart. Getting this welder taken apart, go ahead and get that unplugged, and then there's no power to it, so I ain't got to worry about it turning on. And obviously you want to make sure that this is cool to the touch when you do it. You don't want to sit there and burn yourself. And I have a wire brush that I use for this, but you have this tip in here, and you see how corroded it is right now. That's all just from the welding. That's probably the flux or whatever that's inside the wire. This thing does not want to... Come on, you stupid piece of junk. Alright, well, you get the drift. I'm going to go ahead and clean all this up, and then I'll go ahead and show you on camera what it looks like after I clean it. Alright, using this wire brush that actually came with the welder is what I cleaned it with. And you can see it's all nice and shiny now. So that'll make sure when I need this welder again that everything's clean, clear, and ready to go. I'm going to get all this stuff put away, get the helmets put away, get the goggles, the vice grips, everything that I have on here. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it back up inside the garage, and this probably took me about 15 minutes. If I went ahead to shoot the video, it probably would have took half that time. It really does not take that long to do something like this, and it's going to function for what I need it to function for. Not a professional welder, so anyone out there that would want to criticize what I did, that's fine. It's my truck. I'll do it how I want it. As long as the job lasts and I'm not hurting anybody, then what's the problem?